Hi, grade 5. Today we're going to do a grammar lesson and then we're going to start reading Camping with the President in our literature anthology textbook, so the big story for this week. Okay, first guys, please get your language arts textbook. Okay, you can write down these rules in your notebook to help you remember. We know that last class we learned about plural nouns. Okay, singular and plural nouns, but it's important to know that there are special rules for forming the plural of some nouns. So for example, if we have some nouns that end in F or FE, we change the F to V and we add ES. So to form the plural of some nouns, underline this to make it clear, of some nouns ending in F, all right, in letter F, or in FE, we change the F to V, all right, and we add ES. Okay, what's an example of this? Like the word knife, okay, becomes knives, for example, okay? Also, the word half becomes halves, okay? So it's important to know these rules because many plural nouns have special rules, okay? Also, if we have a noun ending in a vowel that is followed by O, like video, okay? So to form the plural of nouns, and guys, this is in your language arts textbook, okay? To form the plural of nouns that are ending in a vowel followed by O, we add S, okay? So we just add S. That's an example of this, like, guys, all right? So like I said, videos, video, we just add an S to it, becomes videos. For example, rodeo becomes rodeos. All right, and we have another rule. To form the plural of noun ending in a consonant followed by O, what do? We add S, and sometimes we add ES. Okay, so we're going to look at different ones together. All right, an example of this, solo. For example, we add solos. We add an S, sorry, so it becomes solos. Right? Whereas the word hero, for example, is also a consonant followed by O, but we add ES. So these are irregular, okay? Hero, heroes. All right, another one. Some nouns have a special plural form. That does not end in S. All right, like, for example, foot, feet, or mouse, mice. All right, woman, women, child, children, for example, okay? And finally, some nouns, okay? And finally, some nouns stay the same, whether they are singular or plural. Like what? Like sheep, All right, deer and moose. Okay, so here are the rules. Okay, I hope the text is big enough. All right, so these are the rules of the plural nouns. Remembering these rules will take practice, okay? There's always a dictionary. You can use the dictionary if you are not sure how to form the plural form of a specific noun, okay? And with time, it will become easy for you to remember. Most of you who were here last year, we practiced these in grade 4. So, okay, so in grade 3 and 4, you practiced these plural nouns. So this is just revision for you. Okay, so let's try to answer in your language arts practice workbook. Page, and please take out your practice workbook, guys, and answer. We'll answer together. Okay, so we're supposed to write the plural form of each noun. Number 1 here we have volcanoes. Sorry guys, this is page 15. Sorry, page 20. I'm sorry. Page 20 in your language arts practice workbook. Okay, so number 1, write the plural form of each noun. Please get your practice workbook, pause the video if you do not have it, and come back when you do. All right, so volcano. Volcano here, the plural form of volcano is volcanoes. We add es. Okay. Number 2, moose. We said moose stays the same. So the plural form of moose is still moose. Number 3, shelf. We said if it ends in an F, we remove the F and add V and ES. So here shelf becomes shelves. Okay, number 4, patio. All right, patio here, we only add an S to it, patios. Next, loaf also ends in an F, so we add V and ES, remove the F, add VES. Number 6 is tomato. Let's add tomato here. Number 6, tomato becomes tomatoes. We add ES. Number 7, rodeo. We said we add S to rodeos. S to form rodeos. Number 8, half becomes halves. We remove the F and add VES. Next, tooth. This is irregular. Tooth becomes teeth. All right. And number 10, trout is just like the word sheep. It does not change. So trout, the plural is trout also. Trout is a type of fish. Okay. Now for for part B, we're supposed to circle the correct plural form to complete each sentence. I joined a walk to raise money to help sick. All right, we have here childs and children. The correct one is children. Okay, so number 11 is children. Number 12, we believe medical research could save. We have lives with a V and lives with an S. The correct one is lives. All right, next, newspaper reporters snapped photos and asked questions. The correct plural form of photo is photos. Just add one S. All right, number 14, people along the way were making home videos. Video, we only add S, not ES, so this is the correct answer. And number 15, my blank were tired, but I felt good. We have feet and foots. The plural form of foot is feet. Okay, so check your week 5 folder. There will be a worksheet for homework for these more plural nouns for you to complete. But now let's move on to Camping with the President in our literature anthology textbook. All right, you can open your book if you cannot see what's on the screen here to make it clearer for you to follow along. All right, so many of you may not be familiar with the subject of this narrative. All right, we talked about the features of narrative nonfiction, so we know what we are looking for as we read. But the subject here is President Theodore Roosevelt, okay? He served as the 26th President of the United States from the year 1901 to 1909. All right, he was a very energetic man with a wide range of interests, okay? So he was not only interested in politics, but also he was an explorer, he was a historian, and he was a naturalist. Remember when we talked about naturalists and what that means, one of your vocabulary words. Okay, he is known for his effort to conserve natural resources, all right? And we will see that in the text, how he was fascinated by nature. Okay, so look for illustrations, look for the names of the people and places here. Think, what do you think this is going to be about? Look at the picture on page 46. Here we have President Theodore Roosevelt. All right, and what clues does this illustration give us about him? It seems that he is peering into a valley, or he is looking ahead. He probably enjoys nature. All right, so let's start reading. President Theodore Roosevelt mounted his favorite horse and shook the reins. He and Renown shot out the White House stable door. They galloped straight for the woods on their daily ride. As always, hoofs pounded behind them. The president made sure that the Secret Service had to ride hard to keep up with him. America's 26th president loved his busy job, except for one thing. He missed what he called the strenuous life. He wanted to hike alone through the woods, whistling for birds. He longed to chop wood or hunt wild animals. Let me make this bigger for you. Okay. Sorry, guys. All right. Most nights, he set aside time to read. Some of his favorite books were about nature. One evening in the White House, the president finished John Muir's newest book, Our National Parks. The author's descriptions of California's Yosemite National Park fascinated the president. He tried to picture the 3,000-foot-high walls that surrounded Yosemite Valley. Besides all the waterfalls, there were granite boulders bigger than buildings, with names like Half Dome and North Dome. Distant mountain peaks soared over 10,000 feet into the sky. Muir's nature essays clearly indicated a man with strong opinions about land preservation. Roosevelt enjoyed lively discussions. It would be exciting to talk with the country's best-known expert on conservation and explore Yosemite. But why couldn't he? He was the president of the entire United States, wasn't he? The president picked up his pen. He wrote so fast that his spectacles danced to the tip of his nose. All right, so he was writing so fast that his glasses fell down to his nose. Dear Mr. Muir, I am coming west. I want to go camping with you and nobody else. In his letter, he explained that he had already decided to take a fact-finding trip in the spring of 1903. Roosevelt had never been far west, and he was eager to meet the people and learn about the natural resources such as minerals, trees, and water. This visit would help the president make better decisions about the region in the future. Roosevelt wrote Muir that he would first visit Yellowstone National Park. After seeing the Grand Canyon and Arizona, he would come to California by train. To wrap up his trip, the president asked Muir to guide him through the Yosemite area. While camping and avoiding dignitaries, they could talk. The president grinned as he stamped his official seal on the back of the envelope. Camping sounded bully. He especially wanted to see California's giant sequoia trees, the largest living things in the world. 4 whole days in the Yosemite wilderness. The president felt giddy with excitement. He would have to get some Western clothes. Months later, the president's special train sped southeast across California. from Oakland on the coast to reach the tiny town of Raymond at the end of the railroad line. I am delighted to meet you, President Theodore Roosevelt said, pumping Muir's hand up and down. All right, so why is the president so excited to meet John Muir and talk with him? Why is he? We know that he enjoys lively conversations, and because this man that he's going to meet was the country's best known expert on conservation. All right, he's fascinated by his book, and he is excited to meet him. All right, did you guys notice on page 49, 1, 2, 3, in the third paragraph from the top, we see the word bully. Camping sounded bully. All right, so when we read a text about a historic period other than the one we are in now, we find vocabulary that was commonly used at the time but not used today. All right, so the word bully here, we can use context clues. The word bully here means great, or it means fantastic, okay? Also delighted, all right? This shows us how Roosevelt spoke, and helps the readers understand how people spoke at the time. All right, so Roosevelt is very enthusiastic and eager to go camping and to spend time in the wilderness. All right. Soon Roosevelt and Weir were escorted with the rest of the presidential party in stagecoaches, some 30 miles up through the foothills of the Sierra Nevada into the Yosemite wilderness. The two men stood in the Mariposa grove of big trees in front of the Grizzly Giant, one of the largest giant sequoia trees in the world. On either side of Muir and Roosevelt, important men, including George Pardee, governor of California, posed for the cameras. Poof! Burning white flash powder blinded them. Roosevelt smiled his famous toothy grin for the cameras. Reporters would write about the Grizzly Giant and the other trees in this grove. But they wouldn't have much else to write about because the president didn't plan on seeing them anytime soon. The president announced that he was prepared to go into Yosemite with John Muir. I want to drop politics absolutely for 4 days. He punched his fist in his hand for emphasis. Everyone roared with disappointment, but there was no arguing with the strong-willed leader of the United States. He waved away the reporters. All of the dignitaries climbed into their stagecoaches. 30 cavalrymen mounted their dapple gray horses. They saluted their president. Finally, the president even ordered his Secret Service men to stay away. Spurs jingled and leather creaked. The president watched everyone head down the zigzagging road to the nearest town. All right, so here we see the words escorted, we see presidential party, important men, posed, all right? So the words here paint a formal and crowded scene, all right? How does this contrast with the natural setting that we know the president is so interested in going to see? This group of important people that we see here in the picture, this is an unlikely sight to see among the giant sequoia trees, all right? So all these important men standing in front of it, all right? So we know that Roosevelt wants to drop politics for 4 days, all right? Which will give the reporters nothing to write about. So we can say this is cause and effect. Roosevelt announces that he won't be talking about politics for 4 whole days, and this is what the reporters are here for, right? So so the effect of this is that the reporters are disappointed because they won't have much to write about. Okay, 3 men waited with the pack animals and gear. So I'm not sure why this is closing. Okay, 3 men waited with the pack animals and gear. Uh-oh, what's that? It's closing for some reason. Okay, guys. 3 men waited with the pack animals and gear. They were under the watchful eye of government ranger Charlie Leydig. Charlie's family ran a hotel in Yosemite Valley, where he had lived and worked his entire life. He was the perfect man to be in charge of the day-to-day details of the camping trip. Centuries-old giant sequoia trees surrounded Roosevelt. He reached out to touch the cinnamon-colored bark of the Grizzly Giant. It felt spongy. Twisted tree limbs reached towards the sky, so heavy they didn't even sway in the afternoon wind. Deep in the forest, a squirrel chattered. Then a bird sang. The president whistled back, hoping to draw out his first Yosemite bird. A robin dropped from a branch and pushed debris about on the forest floor. Roosevelt pulled out a pocket-sized notebook he always carried. He wrote down Yosemite Wilderness, May 1903, Robin. Then the president sucked in a deep breath of brisk mountain air. Now this is bully, he shouted. Boys, let's build a campfire. Okay, so if we look here, there is additional information about the giant sequoia trees in the illustration here on pages 52 and 53. Okay, we can see these more clearly. And what does this illustration tell us about these trees in the sequoia forest? They're gigantic, right? Look at them compared to the men on the horses. And we see that Roosevelt here is trying to look up to the top of one of the trees, but it seems as if it is too tall for him to see the top, right? Okay. On page 53, the president hears a squirrel chatter and a bird sing. What effect does this have on Roosevelt? So this week we're focusing on causes and effects. Okay, so what is the effect of this? So Roosevelt hears a squirrel chatter and a bird sing. So the effect is that Roosevelt whistles back, hoping to get a look at the bird. All right, it says that Roosevelt pulled out a pocket-sized notebook he always carried. What does this tell us about Roosevelt? That he was so interested in what he encountered each day that he wanted to be prepared to record it. Okay, we're going to stop here, guys, for today, and tomorrow we will complete the story. If you'd like to go ahead and read along, that is fine. If you'd like to finish the story yourself, it is on. So we stopped at page 53 in your literature anthology textbook. Tomorrow we will discuss more causes and effects, and we will discuss more of the details of the story. If you have any questions, let me know. Your homework is in your week 5 folder, the worksheet for today titled Wednesday Homework, and I will see you all tomorrow. Bye, guys.